Actually, I'm a big bull on the US, and I've been that way for years. Through the decline in the financial crisis, I was speaking at a commencement ceremony for an MBA school at that time, which shall remain unnamed because it's a competitor. But the focus of my speech was innovation is alive and well in the United States, and you better watch out because it's coming. And that was in the height of, I would say it was 2008 or 9 that I did that. I still think this is the most exciting economy in the world for various reasons. I think it's taken the adjustment and the pain to a larger extent than some of the others after the crisis. Banks have come out of the crisis with their balance sheets in better shape. Arguably, they need to do more. Households have come out with their balance sheets in way better shape. Companies have got enormous amounts of cash on their balance sheet. And you look at our balance sheet, there's no debt, it's all cash. And we're not the only ones. You're surrounded by companies like Apple that are trying to find ways to give it away these days, right? And so when you think about the environment here, the environment's in a stronger footing than anything else. And at the same time, productivity is at very high levels. Innovation is alive and well. So there's a lot going on here that I think will make the US still a terrifically exciting economy for the next 5, 7, 8 years. Who knows after that? Because the world changes much faster today than it ever did in the past. That's one of the most exciting. The second part that's interesting to me is actually Southeast Asia. I know everybody talks about China and India, and I think that you got to go beyond that. I think those are large markets, and they'll be very exciting to look at and do things with. But people are missing out the next 5, 7, 8 years. ASEAN will be an unbelievable driver of growth in that region. The ASEAN economic community is coming together. And when it comes together, those nations ranging from Laos, Cambodia, and Vietnam to Singapore and Malaysia and the Philippines and Thailand are going to create an economy that's going to be $3 trillion with 600 billion people. And the way they're connecting it is through rail links and bridges, and they're building bridges across the sea all the way to connect South China with the ASEAN countries. And when they start putting money into there, they're talking about $500 billion of infrastructure in the next 5 years. That community, with good governance, by the way, because countries like Singapore and the like, excellent governance, excellent methods of working, you're looking at a huge burst of growth from ASEAN. So I think the US, ASEAN, the US and North America, Mexico would be interesting too. But the US and ASEAN are the two that people don't pay attention to. Everybody talks about China and India and blah, blah. But it's beyond that. It's beyond that.
And a good number of MBA students are international from different countries across the world. And I know many of them struggle with the question of, after I graduate, should I go back to my home country and build a business there? Should I stick around the US and try to find a job here? How would you think about navigating that decision from where you're sitting? That's
a personal conversation. A lot of it has to do with your proclivity in terms of what you think you can do well in, the kind of place you want to be in, the dreams you have and the aspirations you have. I would be the last one to say you shouldn't go back and try and do something there, because probably you will stand out even better there where you came from than you would in the US, where there is a very large number of people who have different opportunities that you're competing for, right? To that extent, why would you not go back? But I tell you, this is the place where you can really get things done. This is the place where the environment allows you to think about expanding and growing in a way that you can't do in other countries. I'm Indian by birth, and I was educated there. I have no education overseas. My daughters have done me proud because they do stuff I couldn't do. But when you kind of get out of here, you get out of schools like this, and you go back to going back to India to work, I don't know that I could deal with the infrastructural issues of opening a business where power is not available and where permits are a problem, and where I joke with people that in China, when you shake hands with a leader and you want to open a business, they roll out the red carpet. In India, they roll out the red tape. And it's just, there's 600 more mouths to feed kind of thing. And it's a nuisance. But if that's what inspires you, you should go do it. It just doesn't work for me. And for me, the globality and the ability to do things on a global scale out of places like the US, the impact, the openness, the opportunity in this environment and this marketplace are way too attractive for me to easily give that up and go somewhere else. I would do it as part of my career and my future, but I would never do it as where I would live for my life. couldn't do it. And I worked 14 years in India before leaving, 15 years before leaving and coming out. And I've kind of seen both sides of this game.